Sound production. Sound production. Sound production.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. It is your boy, Sir Yeetus. Welcome to episode 183 of Yeetus' Thoughts. Today, gentlemen, I have to re-emphasize something that we've mentioned before, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to mention it again because I've been seeing a good amount of infighting here and there on various channels, right? I'm not pointing any channel out in particular, but if you know who I'm talking about, then it's probably about you. But I'm not the one that's blaming people for any type of fighting overall. What I'm trying to explain today is there is a common factor on what's going on when it comes to the infighting that I'm seeing amongst men in our space. Always that one factor, always, every time, is either there's just some crazy ass male feminist that's going on this, oh, you're a misogynist rants, or it's a woman. Either or, that is one of two reasons why we see a lot of fighting, a lot of going after each other, because there's a woman that started it all, that started the drama, that caused the drama. Her existence caused the drama. in a male dominated space. So, before I get into detail about that situation, on why I say it only takes one to dismantle the entire fucking operation, let me bring in the Great Ghost right quick. What's going on, man?
Good evening. I'm fiddling around with Unreal Engine and gonna
You
be
doing good?
making. Yeah, I'm doing all right. So,
And this is something that's been annoying me a lot lately because I have been seeing it all over the place more and more. That all of this like crazy, petty, random fucking arguments and drama, not even focusing on the task at hand. It always boils down to that one person, which has the XX chromosome. What is your perspective on that before I go on a rant?
hmm, couple mitigating factors because I can think of some specific instances. But let's have you go on your rant first, and then I can tackle things point by point. Because otherwise, we'll get lost in tangents.
All right, too easy. Gentlemen, I already emphasized before, men can't be men when there's a woman around. I repeat, men cannot be men when there's a woman around. What do you mean by that, Sir Yeetus? I'll explain. Once a woman comes into a male dominated area or space or whatever, sorry, guess what? Our biological imperative is to see if we can get some coochie, see if we can get some puniti. So there's various men within that male dominated area will completely abandon the task at hand that they're supposed to be focused on and be uh hyper focused on that one woman that's giving off pheromones and shit, giving off like literally her existence. He abandons the mission and goes after her only, and various men will be going after her at the same time, right? And then there's other men that are gonna be pissed off that she's even in this group in the first place. Like, why the fuck is she here? She needs to leave. This is a male space. Why are you here? So then eventually there's gonna be a clash between, oh, I'm glad that you're on the team, lady. Oh my god, hey, can I get your number? Versus the guys like, yo, like get out of here. Why are you even here? Because of course the guys that are trying to get in her pants are gonna white knight for her, simp for her, hardcore against one of their own within their group. And then eventually there will be a bunch of infighting, right? She doesn't even have to do anything. Just her existence alone will cause drama. But it doesn't stop there. She will initiate drama at the same time, right? Whether it's because it's he said or she doesn't like this person, she doesn't like his vibe. He's a Scorpio, we're not compatible, right? On that crazy fucking astrology bullshit, causing more and more drama as time goes by, gentlemen. Because, like I said before, agents of chaos, they thrive off of drama. They love drama because since their lives are so comfortable, especially 2022, they seek for thrill. They seek for fucking, just chaos. And the main part of it all is they will cause this just because it's amusing. It's funny. Something that they're the star role in a movie, right? In their head. In their head, they're the star role in this movie, and they want to see how it plays out next. All the way to the point where false accusations will happen. And don't get me started on her possibly sleeping around with the big dog or Chad Tyrone, teasing, manipulating other men to do her bidding. That will cause even more damage within the male dominated space. The cohesion, the camaraderie, the teamwork, it is fucked at that point. And all it takes is one woman. I didn't even get to the male feminist part yet, but all it takes is one woman to cause all of that damage. I've seen it myself. It's no joke. A woman's power to manipulate, she can fucking manipulate if she has the means to manipulate, right? Of course, she has to be attractive. And if she's attractive, hell, she doesn't even have to be a 10. She could be fucking 6, maybe 5, depending on, if she's deployed in the middle of the desert, right? Like she's the only woman around. But it's not that hard, gentlemen, for a woman to walk up into a male dominated space and dismantle that shit like it's nothing. Because she knows that there's some suckers out there, there's some men out there that are desperate to do whatever it takes to get within 50 meters of her puniti. Okay, they want to get very close to the puniti. She knows they're never going to get the puniti, but she will play it to her advantage to cause the drama and chaos within the group. Whether it's a vendetta or whether she just thinks it's funny. But Grey Ghost, what do you think about that?
You're not wrong, but okay. So what's the solution?
Keep those bitches out. Not to you, but
Right.
to the chat.
But no, that's the thing. But so, proposed solution is that if any female is observed in chat, immediately banned, right?
Yep, and it is my fault. It is my fault that I did not ban Celibate Scorpion right away. That was completely my fault. I own up to it. I should have done it.
And any woman calls in, immediately dropped and banned, correct?
Personally, yeah.
All right.
Because to be honest, how many of them, right? I'm sure I'm sure there's women out there that does come in good faith. I'm sure there is. But how many compared to the rest of the women that are just gonna come up in here just fuck around and just call people incels and misogynists and blah 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 and cause my comment section to get chaotic? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy out here. I keep telling people, don't let them get to you to the point where now you're just fighting each other. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Oh look, I already have a hater in the comment. Shit. Oh, you hate on women. You hate on women. Tell me one time that we've said that we hate women. Please. Please let me know. I don't want any white knights up in my bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. So, have you noticed yourself in your life, anytime in your life, where you're hanging out with your boys, right? Whether it's like high school or whatever, and their behavior dramatically changes when a woman walks into the room or whatever, or try to talk to the group.
I've noticed changes as soon as like a dude gets a girlfriend.
Well, yeah,
Like
that's
the,
a
like destructive changes to their own life.
you're not wrong, but I'm just saying you guys are just chilling, and then their fucking your friend's behavior changes like it's like a 180. Like they're bullshitting, right? Trying to like oppress this girl or simp on this girl, and then eventually it becomes a competition, and then a couple of friends to start butting heads, and it just doesn't end well. It usually doesn't end well, right? Like when you're young, you don't know any better, but when you're older, it's like okay, you know, hooray, a woman's here. But when you're younger and your testosterone's on overdrive, whenever there's a woman pass by, a woman trying to talk to you and the homies, they just go into sip mode. Not only that, but we like I said in the beginning of the live stream, we can't be men.
Okay, now but here's the other thing. There's another side to it that
What's up?
personally pisses me off. As soon as a woman appears, she's immediately the focus. Not just dudes simping, but anti-simping.
Like that one guy that like, bro, like why is she here? She needs to go. Why are you around here?
Every single time it annoys me. It's like, look, chat. As soon as a fucking woman speaks in chat, she immediately becomes the focus of everybody's conversation, regardless of whether you're for her or against her. That like it's always just, hey, let's talk about the woman now. She jumps in the chat. It's like, let's get the woman's opinion on everything. Like
Were
for
you
fuck's
here when I
sake.
got?
Like,
Whoa,
it's
were
like
you
for
here
fuck's
when I got
sakes,
pissed
man.
off? I
Which
got pissed
time?
at the comments because
Maybe
they were having a complete random fucking. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about when Celibate Scorpion was here. I'm like, bro, like, guys, let's focus on the topic at hand. Why are you focusing on some random, I don't know, vegan shit? Like, it was irritating to me. So I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying.
it's like regardless of what side, there still seems to be this subliminal urge for female validation.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. That's why I say it is just not good whatsoever. When I'm not saying, oh, abandon all women, women are just stay away from women. No, I'm just saying when it comes to having a conversation with just amongst men only, it almost never works. It never works when a woman comes into the conversation. Because like you said, it just the conversation we were currently having just derails and everybody just focus on that one person.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and no, I'm not giving any slack to the guys who are, oh, well, I'm just calling the woman out. No, if you have changed the subject of your conversation to the woman in the chat, you are talking about the woman. Your attention is on the woman.
Agreed. I completely agree. And like I said before, I take ownership, I take fault for letting it slide for the last few months. But it just got worse and worse to the point where anytime they pop up, everybody just ignoring what me or the guests are talking about, and just go on to fucking. It's just chaotic in my comments. Like I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like, bro, like I don't think you guys are even paying attention anymore. You guys are just focusing on that woman. So yeah, I have to get rid of her.
Like,
You can't let gentlemen. You cannot let a woman come up in there and just fucking just destroy everything. Just make you guys hate each other and fight amongst each other.
and on the other end is like, if you're here, there's a tacit understanding that you want to talk about male issues. Constantly screaming about how the woman's a chameleon, like that should be the default assumption. You don't have to prove that by spamming it.
That is true. And when I spam the lizard emoji, gentlemen, I'm just fucking around. And I was kind of trying to annoy Undead Chronic. Okay, it's definitely not that serious whatsoever. It's automatically a given. If they're because why else do you think they're coming to a space where it's 99.99% male? Why else would they be here? They have no reason to be here. So
Heck, they have every reason to not be here.
like right, like what the fuck? Like it's insane to the point where it's
No, sorry, I just gotta address this in chat. Like, no, I don't care if it's fucking ironic or not. It's annoying. It's not funny. Spamming fucking spam fucking lizard emojis, puke emojis. It's not funny. It's distracting. and it takes up fucking space in the chat and diverts the conversation. It's not funny. It's not clever. It was old months ago. It's just annoying now.
Yeah, I did it to Chronic just to annoy him, not to be funny. I was just being annoying.
No, but like I'm quite honestly sick of it. Like if I could fucking ban the goddamn lizard emoji and the fucking scorpion, if I could ban the fucking emojis from chat, I would. Period. Like fucking text only. Because no matter what's being talked about in chat, whatever fucking emoji is being used is going to grab the human eye right away. It's distracting.
I agree. When you look at the chat and there's nothing but lizards, it's like, okay, why? Like, well, what the hell did I miss? I'm here
Yeah, well,
talking
you don't.
about.
Okay, no, and sorry, no, just chat again. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off.
No, that's all good.
I just got to justify. It's like, no, you're not gonna get a woman to leave by giving them attention. Okay, spamming fucking. Name one time a woman has actively left chat because people were spamming lizard emojis.
Nope, not once.
It doesn't work. Quit justifying being distracting. You're not getting rid of the women.
You got to understand, chat. Any attention, whether it's good or bad, is good attention when it comes to women.
Like, there is no such thing as bad press. Fucking Hollywood 101.
As long as they're the star of the show, it does not matter whatsoever, gentlemen. Like you'd be surprised how far women will go for attention, and you know this. So, yeah, the lizard emojis would definitely will not make them go away. Damn. I already got a hater in the chat, bro.
Yeah.
Like, why though?
Look, when they give a fucking valid point that I can have an argument to bounce off of, fine. But if they're just gonna spout random bullshit, then what's the point?
Yeah, it's literally what's the point, gentlemen? Like, we need to. Oh, what's up?
But same thing with haters in the chat too. Like the only reason that haters get priority for call-ins is because we're hoping that they'll have some kind of argument that can either expand knowledge or be constructive off of. Maybe some kind of angle that hasn't been considered. But if you're just going to do character assassination and ad hominem without any factual information, like whatever, I may as well go listen to a toddler insult me on the playground.
Yeah, just wasting your time, wasting your precious time. Like I don't get it because yeah, that's why I always look forward to, right? I don't really have an official hater yet, but I'm sure it will come soon. And let me just get like another 10,000 subs. But that's what Under Chronic tries to do as well, right? Like he invited them like, let me make fun of you, ha ha ha. No, he's actually seeing if that person actually have a legitimate argument against his claims. So
and it's important because we don't want to become an echo chamber.
I agree. That's
the most dangerous thing. We see what happens when a group becomes an insular echo chamber and they're just repeating around and clapping each other on the back, not ever allowing any sort of constructive criticism. And it's a delicate balance.
I agree. You know how we call feminists and liberals NPCs? Will be no different. Well, there'll be red pill NPCs walking around if we just become an echo chamber. Hey, there'll be nothing of value at that point, right? Like we just reached the ceiling. They'll just regurgitate over and over and over and never bother to explain their stance, right? They just say it because it's automatic, right?
I mean, heck, we already see the equivalent of red pill NPCs because they'll go around, they'll spout red pill platitudes. they can repeat the stuff that's being said, but when you actually try to have a conversation with them and engage them in here's the deeper reasons behind it, they're confused and draw a blank, and they immediately start backtracking and falling back on their other programming.
Well, when you put it that way, yeah, I agree with that. Let me
Like,
get
how many
this.
people watch? Like, that's the thing. Like, look at most of Jordan Peterson's audience. I'd argue that they're red pill NPCs. They'll use the vernacular. They'll say simp in order to describe the behavior that's undesirable. But then they'll go around and start screwing their life up because they just got a piece of ass that they're really into.
That is true. That's hey chat. Gray's being based right now. Okay, I can't argue with that.
And if someone could, I'd welcome it because.
Well, yeah, argue with it. Yeah, honestly. But unbound soul, you have to have healthy discourse in order to get your point across. Doesn't matter if you disagree as long as the dialogue happens. 100 and million% correct. That is literally the main point of my channel. Literally.
And disagreements are useful. Like,
Right.
I've held it for a long time. I think I saw it first on a TED Talk, back when TED Talks were actually worth something. If you win an argument, aside from solidifying your pre existing beliefs, you don't really gain anything. You don't really grow. If you lose an argument, you'll actually learn something and grow and change.
Yeah. Yeah, because just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I understand your point, right? Neither of us could be wrong, right? We can both be right. It's just that my view is different than your view. And that's the beauty of having discourse, healthy discourse, right?
And that's the thing. Like, to have a healthy discourse, you need to have two people relatively in control of their emotions, because they can get passionate, but like, there's a point in an argument where the emotion takes over the logic and then there's no progress to be made. And it has to be in good faith, where you have to be willing to listen to who you're talking with and honestly consider what they're saying.
I agree. And don't get me wrong, yeah, there could be points where there can be some passion when it comes to talking your point of view, right? I'm not saying get angry or yell like crazy, but it's cool to be assertive with your points, right? I hope that you're confident in what you're speaking on, right? Because your credibility will go down if you don't sound confident when you're speaking on. Like it just no. Like if you're here just like, oh well, maybe you just like crouching, sound a little timid. You won't sound credible. Sorry, you just won't. Even when you're right, it's just like,
Yeah.
So it's all good to be assertive at times, but don't be fucking flailing your arms around like a Neanderthal, going nuts. Say that this guy is green, god damn it. Like what? Like what? Like, I'm gonna ask the chat right quick. Everybody in the chat, all 32 of you guys, put a 1 in the chat if you ever had a debate or an argument with a friend or a family member for hours on a certain topic. I repeat, have you ever had a debate or an argument with a friend or a family member for hours on a topic? I debated a topic all night. Yes, all night. But I learned so much from that debate. I've learned so fucking much, right? Because at times I'm like, you know what? He's speaking facts on certain points, and he's like, you know what? I haven't seen that point of view before, right? Like, there's good things coming out of having a healthy discourse. Very good things. What about you, Gray? Have you ever had to do that before? For hours, you had to, like, with a friend or with a family member, you're talking about A certain subject?
No, honestly, never for that long.
Never? Wow. Okay, I have.
Yeah. No, like I'm thinking hard, and like I've had discussions and talks, but it was never a debate or argument.
Okay, how about for more than 1 hour?
No, that's the thing. Like debate or argument, no.
No? Okay, okay, what about a talk then?
Oh yeah, talks have lasted fucking ages.
Okay.
But a lot of the time it was me like wanting to learn and asking more questions.
Okay, then I say it depends on who you're talking to because maybe the person you're talking to is a complete opposite of you when it comes to like, you know, political beliefs or religious beliefs and etc. And that can cause the talks or the arguments to last for like a long
Now,
time.
okay, now one exception would be if we're including online arguments. I have had a fucking 3-day research posting argument back and forth.
Uh I
Like
think I
that's
remember that
well, it's,
happening.
that's the thing. Like talking back and forth, that's one thing. But I have had like comment sections, I've had extended ones in there too.
Oh,
But the longest, most in-depth one was a 3-day argument with an AIDS denialist where I was freaking doing research and citing sources day after day. I learned a lot.
see, but that's the thing. I'm gonna answer Vega. Some people aren't worth fighting with, and I agree. Some people it's just a waste of time, but it's more passionate for a lot of people, more important when it involves somebody like your sibling or your mom or your dad or your best friend, right? You don't have to hate them, but there's certain topics that you guys don't disagree on, and then you just keep going until you have some type of middle ground. You know, it doesn't have to be hours, but for certain people, like in the chat, oh yeah, it can last for it can last for a long time, right? Not yelling at each other, and that's what I'm saying. Don't scream at each other, not yelling at each other, just sitting down and having a healthy discourse, pouring yourself a drink. You possibly have the TV on, some shows, and you just have a conversation.
No, but here's the thing. That guy Pete's made a point that you're not going to convince them. As soon as you realize you're not going to convince them, it depends. Are you in a private forum or a public forum? If it's just you and them talking, yes, there is no point to further discussion. But in a public forum where you know you have an audience, you're not trying to convince the other person. At that point, it becomes a televised debate, and it is the neutral audience that you are trying to sway.
Well, that guy Pete, that's what I'm saying. It's not some random dude on the street. It's not your teacher or some classmate. I was talking about mainly somebody that you know very well. Very well. Hey, some people they have the stamina and the energy to see if they can get their point across. It doesn't like I said before, yeah, it's one thing if you're trying to prove that you're right, but it's another thing if you try to make the other person understand where you're coming from. Right? He does the other person does not have to does not have to agree with what you're saying. But as long as a person sees what you're saying and why you're saying it, then that's good enough, right? Agree to disagree. That's the true meaning. Yeah, we don't have to agree on everything, but I do see why you're saying what you're saying. Yeah, you can just do it for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes and you don't have time anymore or whatever. But there are people, especially with certain topics that they're passionate about, right? Whether it's religion or politics, they will go on for a long time to not hey, if they can't say if they're right or wrong, at least see, like, okay, I understand why you're saying this. Okay, I see why you have this point of view. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. So, of course, they're going to be majority of people in your life is not going to be worth it. But a few people in your life, I'm talking about important people in your life. I'll guarantee you, you guys will be having the conversation on a subject for a long time, especially if you're both passionate about that subject.
I just remembering back, like, did I ever tell you, like, I'm pretty sure I've told you before, like, what this AIDS denialist was insisting that AIDS actually was. Do you remember that?
Oh wait, what'd you say? One more time.
This AIDS denialist was insisting that AIDS wasn't a virus. I think I told you this. Do you remember what they said it actually was?
What did they say?
A psychological disease caused by watching their parents get raped.
Is that real?
Uh, yeah, like, the doctor that they cited all the time was Dr. Stefan Lanka, who recently, like a couple of years back, got absolutely screwed because he'd set some kind of gold standard and he challenged people to prove that, like, AIDS or various other diseases were actually viruses and not psychological things. And when someone actually proved it, like, he had to, like, the court actually got involved to force him to pay up.
Could you repeat that one more time for the chat? Because the chat is like in shock right now.
Yeah, so no, this guy was insisting that AIDS was actually a psychological disease caused by watching your parents get raped. Dr. Stefan Lanka, Stefanlanka. You can look him up. This shit's real.
When was this? Like,
I was having this. The argument I had with this was around, like, the Occupy movements. I guess that'd be like 08, 09 or so. But it was only like 2, 3 years ago where the courts got involved. If you Google him, you'll probably find sources on this guy's crazy buffoonery.
I would not know what to say. I can't even have a healthy discourse about that. What the fuck? What? Like, I will have to take a walk on the beach and just reflect on my life on how I got to this point. Like, what the fuck?
I've been to some weird places on the internet, got involved with some weird fucking communities, but
That is
yes.
crazy, bro.
But as someone who had a biology history, like, imagine imagine if someone tried to legit come onto Chronic's channel and start spouting that off. Yeah, like, that's kind of.
I think it will leave Undead Chronic speechless. Like, honestly, like, how can you you can't have a rebuttal for that, like, what, unless, like, you say, like, are you fucking crazy? Like, I would end the stream, not gonna lie. I would have
No,
ended the
like,
stream
so
on that
that's the thing.
spot.
So that was so that ended in 3-day back and forth citing of research papers and dissecting this other person's sources, which was literally just one website by Dr. Stefan Lanka that looked like it was made in the 1990s.
Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to speak on this one. Hold up. Yeah, I know I'm bound. I know you still trying to process what you heard. But let me go ahead and address this right quick. The parenting of someone pretty much shapes their values. You are not changing anybody. Lepers don't change their spots. That is where you're wrong.
No, I can say straight up.
No, you're wrong. Like,
No,
when it comes to that, you're wrong.
No, pain changes people. Like, experience changes people.
Okay, I
You're-
just
you-
like, okay.
Like, you
What
might
do you
not.
mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, pain is the ultimate teacher. Like, you can be taught something is true. Like, you can be taught by your parents that fire doesn't hurt you, You stick your hand into fire and feel the pain, you're going to learn pretty damn fast that fire hurts you and that your parents are liars.
I
Like,
agree.
it can shape a lot, but your experiences will shape far more. That's why society needs to constantly reinforce false narratives in order to get people to ignore the reality of life. Like, this entire sphere would not exist if childhood programming was the be all end all of someone's development.
I completely agree, right? And I'm going to add another example where you already know that when it comes to Democrats, right? A majority of them are heavily minorities and women, but especially in the black community, majority of them are Democrats, self-proclaimed Democrats, and they always preach about how the conservative or the white man is all racist and shit. You know, they hate us, they take our jobs, and these white men are evil. Ugh, stay away from these guys. Ugh. But then you grow up and then you realize that your own people, right? Your own people are racist to you a lot more than these white people that they proclaim that are so evil. Think about it, gentlemen. Think about it. Because that's what happened to me. All this time, growing up and stuff. Oh, these white people. Oh my God, they're so evil. Oh my God. But then as you're growing up as a black man, you find out, especially as a black man, you're trying to better your life, and you're not trying to dabble in the gang life, the drug life, all that stuff. They're way more racist to you, right? Your own black people are racist to you than the evil white man, white people that they proclaim that they're the evil ones, right? So that's just straight up projecting. Your own
Yeah.
people are the racist ones.
And now you're
Completely
going to
racist, very
and
racist.
and you're going to get
So
people
when it
who
comes to that, you go from, oh yeah, I'm a Democrat because this is what my parents taught me. So now fuck you, fuck this. I'm becoming a conservative.
and like let's be honest, the kinds of people who would cave to kind of social pressure and require social approval, they're far more likely to be whatever political alignment is displayed most prominently. In this day and age, it's the Democrats.
I completely, bro, I agree so much to the point. That's why I say, we kind of derailed with his point with JD saying that you're not changing anybody, but we still got the point across in the sense of, yes, you can change. But with the Grey Ghost's example is most likely going to be through painful lessons.
Because that's the thing, like, yeah, in one argument, unless someone is very predisposed to change, you're unlikely to change their mind, like right on the spot. But if you put them into a situation where they can't easily argue against you, where they get stuck, they might not change their beliefs, but at the very least, they might think on it. They might, like, there will be that defeat in their mind, and they'll start second guessing and maybe be a bit more observant. It's
Yup.
not a definitive be all end all, but it can end up being the inciting incident that makes them question, and that can lead to change down the line.
Well, that's why, and you already know I'm about to bring this up, especially chat. I love the Muhammad Ali quote saying that if your mindset at 20 is the same at 50 years old, you wasted 30 years of your life. In order to actually grow, possibly for the better, you might have to question your own values, principles, ethics, and beliefs time to time. You don't have to do it all the time, but you may have to do it once in a while to make sure that what you're doing is truly what you're backing up, with your values and stuff. So if you still have the same mindset the entire time between 20 and 50, I don't believe you've learned anything.
it would be so weird too, because your priorities and position in life should change from 20 to 50.
Agreed.
Like, say at 20, let's like you're kind of working like minimum wage fast food job. I imagine that there's a lot of 20-year-olds who've been in that position or people were in that position when they were 20. If that's the same position that you're in or in a very similar position by the time you're 50, you done fucked up.
Yeah, fucked up a lot. If you still have that young 20-year-old mindset, I don't know what have you no. That literally means that you never bother to go out there and explore things around the country or around the world. You never bother to explore your hobbies. You never bother to actually reflect upon yourself, you know, when it comes to how the world works and how you navigate through it. If you're still that same 20-year-old boy, yes, I still say at 20 years old, you're still a young man. Um, you definitely fucked up along the way because you can tell immediately. I'm sure you possibly can, Gray. You can tell if a middle-aged man or old man, right, elderly, they never really bother to how you say evolve in the sense of I guess mature. I guess I could say that mature.
Yeah, well, actually, favorite saying with that is growing old is mandatory, growing up is optional.
Agreed. Because I can tell there's I could definitely tell when it comes to the middle-aged women that there's a clear difference between like women that has their priority straight, right? They possibly do have, you know, a family, kids, grandkids, all that other jazz, and they're doing what they need to do compared to other middle-aged women that still think that they're in high school,
And
which
a huge
is
part
not
of
good.
that's the thing, and a huge part of how someone changes is, of course, the experiences. Like you got to look like middle-aged women maintaining that high school mentality for the longest time. It's rewarded.
True.
Like if you adopt a position or a mindset and experience no resistance for decades, it is not going to be surprising that you're the exact same decades later.
Uh, I guess we can get to some sciencey shit. I want to address this right quick. Your parents' genes play more of a role in why you like them than their words do. So you talking about nature versus nurture right now? That guy Pete?
Now here's the thing. This, like, where I would take slight issue with that is that I'd say that the words of your parents do not matter near as much as their actions. If your parents tell you to do one thing, but you witness them doing other stuff, you're not going to do what they say. You're going to do what they did.
Yep. Little kids learn very quick. Like you, I'm sure you guys know, but little kids learn very quickly, even when they're what 2 years old, 3 years old. They their whole how you say meaning of life at that age is to literally imitate what their parents do, especially as a like grow to like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
They're literally watching their parents closely.
But I would agree because, like, I say I agree with technically with what Pete said that your genes play more of a role than their words. Yes, but that's because the words of your parents play so little of a role that it's basically negligible.
Right. For example, you can't say, "Oh yeah, you better not drink that alcohol, bro. You better not drink that shit." But they themselves are fucking alcoholics, right? And that could be genetic as well. But you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I agree with Gray saying. Yeah, and I do agree with Pete saying. Their words are literally minuscule because kids watch closely, very closely. when they're growing up. Their brain is like a fucking sponge. Like a lot of parents truly believe that their kids are not smart enough to know what's going on, what or how aware they are, right? They don't have to be that aware to mimic what you do.
You know, that actually got me thinking for a second. I think that parents treating their kids as idiots, it's on purpose, constructed on purpose, in order to get kids to seek guidance from people outside of their families.
You talking about like gang life and all that stuff, or
Gang life, teachers, television, movies, any sort of parental role model. Like, if you not only take the parents out of the family, like, the father out of the family, but then you also make it so that children are treated as far dumber than they actually are, you create a whole bunch of children who realize that they're smarter than adults, and they will start looking for guidance outside of their parents, outside of the authority figures who would have their best interests at heart. And then they might look to, say, Marvel movies, places where the media can influence them.
hmm, I see where you're going. Okay.
Because, like, I remember this being a huge issue when I was a teenager. Like, my parents did not treat me as intelligent at all. So I ended up, like, looking to other people who would treat me as intelligent and looking through movies and stories to try and find role models there, because there is, well, if my parents aren't going to take me seriously, then I have nothing to gain from learning from them, so I'm going to have to go to someone else so I can actually keep growing.
Exactly. Instead of saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You just a little kid. You don't know the way the real world works." They'll go to somebody that will actually teach them how the real world works. Like I've seen it often myself, right? They always get put down by their parents, like, you know, you ain't as smart as you think you are. Okay, you're still a child. Okay, you need to do some child things. But as soon as they go to, on the corner with the gangs or, whatever adult figure that they can find that will teach them what's truly like the reality of everything pretty much, right? And that
That's the
usually
thing. Like,
happens.
it doesn't have
uh
to be that much, really. Like, all they have to do,
no, it doesn't.
well, like, all they have to do is find something that your parents lied to you about, prove that your parents are lying to you about it, and tell you a truth that you relate to at least once, and then they'll follow you. I think, again, that's why people like Jordan Peterson get so popular, because he's a father figure. He exposes shit that parents and whatnot lie to their kids about. And so these kids think, well, he told me the truth about this, therefore the other things that he says to me must be true as well. And that's how they get suckered into other bullshit as well.
And that's the big thing. I don't have kids yet, but when I do, the last thing I want to do is be a hypocrite to my children. When it comes to big things, small things, I don't give a shit. You know, yeah, some things they're not adults yet, so they just that monkey
That's the
see,
thing.
monkey do shit. There's a reason why I can do it as an adult and you can't do it as a child. But when it comes to big, like hypocritical things, that's the thing I don't want to be.
Like,
So
and that's it's a very delicate balance. Like, I think one of the big questions is, do you tell your children that Santa is real?
to a certain age,
And that's the thing, because like, Santa Claus is one of those things where the kid will first have to come to terms with Like their parents will lie to them and be absolutely committed to the lie.
Well, I will say there's reasons to lie for there's good reasons to lie, there's bad reasons to lie. Right.
See,
There's
that's
good
where the
reasons why you should lie, and there's horrible reasons why you should tell the truth.
that's where the nuance comes in, because how much can you lie to your children before they no longer believe anything, even the things that you're telling them that are true?
I will say once they hit middle school and beyond, right? Like 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. That's when they will be way more aware because they'll be exposed to a lot more things at that point, where you can't really protect them and shelter them from reality at that point. So
That's the thing. Like, there's those kinds of questions that that have to be asked as a parent, and they do have profound effects. And it's hard to judge what's actually real or not. Like, okay, like telling me Santa's real. Okay, yeah, like that's something that can technically be understood and forgiven, but you always wonder where that line is,
when
because
it
if it
comes
comes to the point,
to, like, let's say, like, the big things, like if your mom is bringing a boyfriend almost every month, right? In and out, in and out, in and out. And she feeds her young child some bullshit on why that happens. And then when the child's older and eventually figures out what was truly going on, that's when it becomes pretty bad.
I actually, here would be kind of an example. You've seen Boondocks, right?
Which one? The show or the?
The show, the
Okay,
cartoon.
yeah, I've seen it.
Do you remember the scene with the lemonade stand?
Yeah, with the little girl with the pigtail selling lemonade. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then she got like absolutely fucking destroyed by that white banker dude.
Oh, that fucking guy. Yeah, yeah, I remember now.
But that's the thing. Like, he was telling her the truth.
True. But that's the thing. That's where I say it's good to lie. Because once again, you got to be. She's not at that age where she can accept that blunt to the point reality.
Yeah,
You,
but at
you
the
get what I'm
same
saying?
time, like she was using the lemonade stand to save up to buy a horse. Are you seriously going to tell a child that them making a lemonade stand, selling a glass of lemonade for 5 cents a glass, or 25 cents a glass, or like that, like fucking chump change a glass, is going to allow them to buy a horse?
I forgot about the horse thing.
That's why she was doing it all for. She was doing it for
Yeah.
a horse.
I thought I initially thought she would sell lemonade for lemonade. I forgot the horse part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you need to break it to her. Like, you're not
Like
gonna buy a fucking horse.
that's the thing. There's like, now of course he didn't necessarily, like, the banker dude didn't necessarily know, but when you have an 8-year-old kid like misspelling shit on their lemonade stand, is that going to get them more people? Is it going to get them pity money?
Uh,
Like, that's like this.
nah.
These are the kinds of things that you got to think about. Like, it's one thing if a fucking 5-year-old or a 3-year-old does it, but when you have someone who's like 8 to 10, and you heard her conversations with Huey, she is not illiterate or stupid. So
I see what you're saying.
I,
I see what you're saying.
like that's
But
the thing. But like but the thing, her dad like let it all slide and was just like, oh, I'm happy that she's doing something, but she's doing it for a goal, a completely unrealistic goal. And the parents aren't going to tell her the truth that, look, you're not going to get a horse by selling lemonade, which chances are she didn't pay for any of the lemonade supplies anyway.
Yeah, I see what you're saying because my parents would have kept it real with me on the spot. You ain't buying a fucking horse. You ain't getting no
You ain't
goddamn
buying a
horse.
horse with that. You ain't buying a horse if you went and got a minimum wage job right now. You ain't buying a horse with that kind of money.
You know Cat Williams?
Mm.
That's similar to what my dad did to me. He sat his young son down and gave his son a pimping decision, right? He says, "Hey, you can use this $100 to buy your brand new video games, or you can go to the discount section and get yourself a whole console and 20 video games. Which one do you want?" Like those type of talks are definitely crucial when it comes to being, exposing them to slowly to how the world works, pretty much. Not straight up. Oh yeah, so you looking for the Alienware, 8,000, with 500 terabytes and all that crazy shit that costs like at least 10 grand. Yeah, of course. Yeah, go ahead and sell them cookies around the block. No, my parents would not do that shit. They were like, nah. Here you need to be more realistic about your money. So I see what you're saying when it comes to those are the times where you need to keep it real with your child, even if your child is young. So I agree.
Yeah. And again, every parent is going to have a delicate balance that they're going to run based on their own judgment, and they're not going to be perfect.
True.
You're gonna fuck up and you're gonna fail, but I think that the real failure as a parent is if your child loses trust in you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be very bad. That'll be because once they start growing to adulthood, the trust is just gonna get worse and worse and worse. Like you better have a very damn good reason why that trust was broken in the first place.
And that's like anyone who's going to like try to talk to parents, like I'd encourage, look, understand why you say things that you say. The whole because I'm your parent thing breaks down as soon as they're capable of rational thought because they'll be able to out argue you. And as soon as your kid can beat you in an argument on something that you are dead fast holding as a principle of your life, you're done. They will never respect your fucking opinions on shit again.
That is true, but we are going to cut it here because we're going to be having another stream later on today, gentlemen. Gray, do you have anything else to say to the chat? Because I'll be right back.
I guess I'll reiterate and just hammer this home. Like, females are going to enter this kind of space. Reacting to them in any way, shape, or form distracts from the discussion amongst men. You're not going to get them to leave. You're not going to shame them into going away if the conversation turns to them. I don't know how I'm going to progress things on my channel with regards to this. My channel's discussions are slightly different from many of the other Warband and Manosphere channels. But at the very least, if Yeet's going to take a very hard line and ban all females on site, when you're in this chat, don't acknowledge them.
So, how'd you like the quick live stream today? Do you think it's more doable than my usual 3 to 8 hours?
Yeah, definitely far more dense, concise, and you can just kind of hammer this stuff out. Plus, it's going to be easier to download and re-upload.
That is true. But, gentlemen, we will be having another stream later on today, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be me, that guy Pete, the Gray Ghost, if he's able to join, and Hammerhand, if he's able to join. Me and Hammerhand, we've been talking back and forth since yesterday. So if he's able to confirm being on my stream tonight, it's going to be a good stream. And the topic is going to be about freedom of speech. Oh, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a great one. Oh, it's going to be a lot of knowledge dropped today because honestly, a lot of people they have the tendency to think that just because they have the freedom of speech, right, the First Amendment, that they're free from consequences that comes behind it, which is not the case. Freedom of speech always comes at a risk of offending somebody. You can't control how a person reacts to what you say. And that's what a lot of people got pissed off at me on that one video I made with that one white girl talking about, oh, why can't I say the N-word? You know damn well why you can't say the N-word.
I mean,
Nobody's
like,
stopping you from saying it. Go to Detroit or go to Chicago or Baltimore. Go ahead, say it. No, fuck that. Go to Brooklyn. Go ahead and say it as much as you want. Let's see how that goes. You know why you can't say it. The fuck? Like nobody stop you from saying it, but you know damn well why you won't say it.
yeah, like the same reason that like you wouldn't go to a whole bunch of white hunters armed to the teeth in the middle of the wilderness and start calling them honky cracker racist piece of shits.
Exactly. It's just so crazy to me how many comments that I got on that one video. Like, oh, she's based. What can't we say it? What can't we say it? I'm like, why are you so eager to say it? First off, that's kind of weird. But
That's the
B,
thing. Like I even had the conversation, like same thing with my dad. It's like, look, you want to say it? Say it. Say it right now.
yeah,
I ain't stopping you.
do it.
Privacy of your own home. You can say it all you want. But if you want to say it to a black dude's face in the middle of an urban environment, yes, you are running a non-zero risk of getting your ass shot.
Right. Like it's fine. It is fine.
And I'm pretty sure, like, it's the thing. Like, I'm sorry if you go up to your average father and say, let's see, how do I put this offensively but still YouTube safe? Oh yeah,
Mom is
I'm gonna
stronger than
turn.
you.
No, I'm gonna turn your son's asshole into a blooming rose.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you can say that. You have the freedom to say that. But the odds of you walking away from that unscathed are pretty fucking low.
It, yeah, you're not gonna have a brain after that. Let's just say that. But that's what a lot of people need to understand. Okay, just because you could does not mean you should. Okay, just because you got these constitutional rights does not mean you're safe from getting from getting suplexed by a motherfucker. Okay, doesn't mean that you're safe from getting yeeted off a fucking bridge. Jesus Christ, like it was crazy. I'm telling you, the Grey Ghost, how many comments got pissed off at me. Like, yeah, why can't I say the N-word? Why can't I say that? Say it.
Say it. You just you can say it. Like go into your bathroom, look in the mirror, say it 3 times with only a candle. There's not gonna be freaking Black Bloody Mary coming out to shank you. That ain't how it works.
But at the same time though, it's like why like I still don't get why they're so eager to say it. I don't get it. Like what? When you're getting your ass beat by a group of black dudes, right? And you can't just be like, but my First Amendment right. Do you think they give a fuck? Like, like your rights as an American will only get you so far, gentlemen. That's what you need to understand.
That's the thing. Like your rights do not protect you from civilian or even corporate counteraction. Like,
Yep.
they at most keep you from being sent to prison for speech, and honestly, even that's pretty tenuous right now.
Nobody is safe from consequences, gentlemen. Remember that. And we will continue this conversation later on today, and hopefully Hammerhand is able to join, because I'm sure he will have a lot of great insights I probably never even thought about before. So I'll let you guys know if he's able to join or not. But you're good, Gray?
Yep, all good. I got everything out.
All right, gentlemen, it is your boy Sir Yeetus and the Grey Ghost. Hopefully you enjoyed a shit ton of gems we dropped on you today, right? And luckily, I know it's not like a 3-4 hour stream. And we will see you later on, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We are out. Peace.
Peace out, everybody.